Hello, traders. Welcome to the support webinar. Let me know when you can see me and we'll see this see my desktop and hear me. Sorry, guys, I'm fumbling around over here. Oh, Trader 77, Peppy, great, good to see you guys. All right, let's dive in and talk about the markets. Once again, guys, this is a support webinar, so if you have any questions about the software, just hit me up. I'll do my best to answer. I'm not as good as Chris Barley, but I will do my best. Hi, Brian. How are you? All right. Some crazy action. The market is trying to dig in and move higher, and it's I thinned out a lot today just because I've had a nice run, and yeah, just going to the weekend, I just felt one of those kind of moves to kind of thin out a little bit, but I definitely have a few positions for sure. Just not feeling it today. We've been really, just let me get over here. Just grinding, grinding. It's been a grind. I don't know where that X came from. And there you have it. It's definitely been a breakout. Okay, this is one of interest. If it then could get going, 'cause I do have a nice chunk of that. Yeah, I don't. I've been hearing that too, Trader 77. I don't try to think too much when it comes to price action, but yeah, it's definitely in the back of my mind. But anytime we get to a all-time high like this and you're just kind of grinding, I always keep it kind of tight from there. It's not, and I do a lot of uh, position. I should call it core position trading, where I'm quick to take profits. Like on this GFAI is interesting. I've been in this thing forever. I'm serious. I think I've been in this thing from at least 2 weeks. All of July, I know that. But one to definitely watch. But getting back, yeah, it's just kind of a grind. I'd be real surprised if we. Oh, you guys still hear me? I almost knocked everything off. Okay, hold on. I may have pulled out the cord here. Can you guys hear me? Oh, you can't hear me now. Okay, good, good. Let me sit down because I was standing up and I started moving around, walking with my stupid headset. Almost ripped it out of the socket. Hey, Queen Bee, how you doing? All right. Yeah, not doing a whole lot. I got stopped out of some things today, and I'm very lucky to basically be flat on the day. So uh, definitely holding some core positions. I definitely like that Amazon. Uh, finally breaking out of that level today. That 224 level was just huge. Uh, let's see, Apple's still intact. I'm kind of sticking with some of the big boys right now. I'm seeing some weakness in a lot of ARC stocks. ARC's had a nice run, and I just pulled it up. Yeah, it's seeing a little nothing major, but definitely seeing some weakness. I've noticed. I had a few ARC stocks and got stopped out to today, but uh, Yeah, there comes a time, I never like being loaded up when we're at all-time highs like this. Now, it's a different story. Let's just pull up the spies. It's kind of a good topic. If I'm maybe catching, this uh, well, it's pretty wicked right around this area. But let's say, you finally bounce out of this range and you're long right here, and you finally get back above that 550 level, which is a kind of a significant pivot level. I'm more apt to stay in things for a long time. But after you getting up here into like fresh new air, it's like I start to get a little nervous, and because I know people are trigger happy. A lot of people have been sitting in longs for this whole move, and yeah, they're going to be quick to take profits. So I am right there with them, and maybe not a time to go diving into a bunch of new longs because it's been a nice move. It's been a big move, so I would not doubt to see some, maybe backing and testing the breakout again, maybe coming back, at least to the 20 period moving average. Who knows? Maybe this is the all-time top. But regardless, uh, just a real nice months in a row, and even July's been good. So I don't want to press it in this area. And I mean, I'm hanging on to some things that are holding up. Still like Intel, definitely like Amazon breaking out. Apple's still intact. Tesla is is still under pressure, right? It's below its key moving averages there, the 20 and the 50. So you can't get gung ho, positive on Tesla. But I am in a little bit of that, taking some profits off. But yeah, not a whole lot of conviction in that one yet. That's for sure. SSRM, I'm surprised. This one I bought the other day, and on this day right here, and you can see, or I guess it was yesterday, because silver has had an incredible move, and I'm surprised. I'm going to try to be patient with this one because this used to be one of the better ones. I don't know if this day, a lot of them sold off on this day. If you pull up GDX, it's having a hard time, moving with the sector. So maybe if you get some weakness in the market, you may see some money flowing into the GDX. I don't know, but let's see what else I got here. But yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed in that SSR. Thought I could get more out of that one. Still might. Not going to give up on it. WRD is something I've been in for a long time. Actually, is around $8. Still liking this for a potential, bottoming pattern, getting back above its moving average, holding the 50 now for possibly 3 days in a row. Oh, and Biddy, this is a Bitcoin short. I just thought this morning, I said, you know what? I actually thought did it in pre-market too. I said I'm gonna take a little shot at this, and uh, I got to stop. If it goes to highs, I'm Bitcoin goes back to highs, I'm out. But I'm just thinking, break out, and then a huge gap after a breakout like that. I said I'm going to fade this right here and see if I can, you know, just play contrarian in this position, and I can still get. I'll probably move it down for a flat now. But great question. Three sharp. No, no. Now I do set alerts, and I have an alert up here on Newmont. It never got close this morning, but it did not break it. Now this is one that will probably be on my list come Monday, especially if like Gold gets to moving. Gold is kind of underperforming silver. Silver is playing some catch up to gold, obviously. If I pulled up the long-term charts, or you're gonna pull up the monthlies on these things, you can see silver has been underperforming gold for a while, but now you're seeing just the opposite. Silver is kind of nice 2-day move there in silver, while gold's just kind of lackluster. Now, I do think if gold gets going, these GDXs will probably need to put alert in that as well. It goes back to highs. Sometimes three sharp. If I'm real uh, comfortable with the breakout, I will put a stop order in there. So in other words, if it goes to that order, I'll automatically get filled. I try not to do that in the uh, first 15 minutes. You get a lot of head fakes in the first 15 minutes, but uh, I was already in Amazon, but Amazon would have been a good one to do, although it's pulling back now. But you didn't chase that initial bar through in the first 15 minutes, but then you turned around and put one back above 224. You could put a buy stop in. It's a typical candle you'll get in the first 15 minutes. On my daily suggestions, yeah, let me take a look at them. Well, I did add to Apple. Uh, Now you got to remember a lot of these three sharp. Be sure to you know remember that a lot of these I called, were on my list a lot earlier. Okay, like Apple was probably, if I went back and looked, it was probably on this day, and that's where I originally bought it. So sometimes these things set up again, and I will, put them on there again for maybe those that didn't see it, or maybe looking for a different setup. Uh, it's like WRD. I like it, but I had it back on at 663 on the list. Uh, I think it was, yeah, this day right here where it went through. So I did not put it on there again today. Uh, Trying to think. A lot depends on the market. Like this Yeti, I didn't take Yeti from yesterday, even though I like that setup. Now it's reversing. When we get in, like I said, at all-time highs like this, I'm probably taking less of them because I typically will have some positions and I'm like, okay, this market's up here, it's having a hard time moving higher. Do I want to just add more to my portfolio? And so now we get into maybe an area like I was talking about where, the spies maybe they're in this area when you had this gap and go, on that day. I can't remember, but more than likely I took a few of them. Okay, breaking out to all-time highs. It's but when you get up here after this huge move, I'm taking less of them. I'll be honest with you, and I typically will say it in my video. I don't know if you watch my video. If I would highly recommend watching the video and not just reading the emails if you get the emails, because I kind of go over, and I'll typically uh, will say something like, I'm taking profits now, or something like that. I typically won't just say, hey, yeah, buy these, buy this, buy this. These are just ideas. We keep going. Now, Amazon, had I not been in that, I would have bought today, but I was already positioned pretty well in that one. Uh, Trying to think what else I had. Baidu, I actually tried and I got out. I did try Baidu today, but it wasn't on the breakout. I actually tried to buy a pullback, and at the uh, at the 10 period moving average, but I got out real quick. I saw it didn't work. Boom, I'm out. Probably, sometimes I do that. If I have something on the radar and I see it's getting hit and coming to a critical level where you have some maybe a little bit of support, and I will give it a shot. Yeah, Amazon, I've been in for forever. I talked on yesterday on Trader TV about how I like to core position size. And Amazon, I would probably say I've been in this one since earnings, probably back over here somewhere. Uh, so now, obviously, my average price is all out of whack because I've been core, selling and getting back in, selling and getting back in. Meanwhile, always maintaining some sort of core position in it. So I like to do that a lot. Intel's been the same way. I've taken a lot of profits. I want to be in this thing because I really do think it's bottoming. Uh, I think I talked about this the other day before it even broke out, how I liked it, maybe 2 weeks ago, how I liked how it's wedging here. And, it was a nice constructive bottoming process and, potentially. I still believe that. And that's why I'm maintaining a core position. But it's a it's a tricky one to bottoming stocks are tough because you got a lot of emotion, just kind of like you see now at the top. As we get near the top, you notice how, like, when we get some tariff news, how everybody's trigger happy and trying to get out. Topping formations and bottoming formations, you get a lot of volatility. So when I'm playing those areas, I'm typically doing what I call the core position trading and taking a lot of profits along the way. Thank you, 3 Sharp. I appreciate that. Yes, yes, I did mention Intel a few weeks ago for sure. I liked it. And I've been in it for a while actually. Now the only time I got stopped out was on this day right here. And that's a Friday afternoon that I took off and I put a stop in and I did get stopped out. And so but then I turned around and bought it back on this day. Once it took out that high, got back above the moving averages. As a matter of fact, you can see the line on my brokerage plus, how far it goes back to this day right here, just like I talked about. So that will let you know how long I've been in this. Amazon goes way back. Good Lord. Yeah, I've been in this thing, you know, for this long. Now I don't know what I was doing. I'm not sure where that lines up. Probably on this day or this day. But anyway, yeah. So had some conviction in Amazon. Just wanted to be in it. Well, the market is. It's just it's having a hard time selling off, and it's having a hard time moving higher. I could actually probably a lot of shorts positioning in this market today, and I can actually see us ripping to highs on the close just to squeeze the ball and make them carry it overnight. Yeah, and I look at my watch list. When you see that, these are stocks that were setting up pretty good, and you can see a lot of red. These two I just stuck in there. These were not like these just if you're a day trader, I kind of wanted to throw these in there for potential day trading people and to keep an eye on them, for myself if I wanted to take a trade. But INKT, oh wow, 1 million in the float. Yeah, back in my day trading days, I would have probably been all over that, but big cancer news announcement, huh? Interesting. Dang, look at that volume today. Crazy. I'm sure you guys were in Barry's room all over it. Yeah, you're right, Charles. That one's working nicely. What kind of spread is it? I bet you it's a pretty big spread, isn't it? Although with that kind of volume, that seems to tighten down the spreads a lot. All right, Qs are trying to dig in, holding their fast line. 90-cent spread. Ooh, yeah, pay 20 shares. I mean, yeah. I mean, you try to play a couple hundred shares, man, you're down like as soon as you hit the button on a market order, you're down $200. Hey, Perfect Circle, how are you, buddy? I tell you what, I've seen this song and dance before. I'm just going to go ahead and, excuse me, I'm just going to go ahead and turn this into a flat. I don't even want to mess with it. It goes back above that fast line. Yeah, I tried this one earlier this day, but I got stopped out. Silver continuing. Huh. Have you tried popping out your chat, 3 Sharp? Or yeah, yeah, you should be able to go to the 3 dots right here, Click on it, and you should have an option to pop out charts. Mine's already popped out, so it's not giving me that option. Oh, good. Yeah, that helps. It really does. Yeah, that's the only way I could do it over here. What are my top watches? Interesting. Well, I do like Amazon. Uh, I mean, if you look at Amazon, it's got a ways to go. I mean, this thing 242. It's kind of not a whole lot of resistance to about this 230 level. So I mean, I do like the way that is setting up. I'm in a little bit of the Sasan, ASAN. I was in it from this area. I think I may have even had a last Friday. May have been in it. But anyway, it popped up out. I got stopped out yesterday, and then I re-entered 310 1410 on this one just because of that 20. The CEO has been buying a ton of shares. Now he's done this in the past, and it it really didn't help the stock, but he is just buying. If you look into it, just tons and tons of shares. So I don't have it on my thing because it's one of those ones where I just took a small position and put a stop, immediate stop if it breaks through the 10 period moving average. And I don't want to get, I do that a lot of times. I'm in Alibaba and I'm in KWeb. I mean, I don't like to put everything on here if I'm just going to basically take a small position and put a stop in. In other words, if I'm not looking to like position trade it like I do or do it with size, I'll just nibble. But I for a bottom fishing, I kinda like that one. I know for a lot of you guys are probably saying, "Yuck," but, some of these things, when they do make a bottom, you don't have to have it be too much size. If it is a bottom, you can always add once it gets above the 50 period moving average. So, if I'm really slow playing excuse me, slow playing something, I won't put it on my blotter. I'll just but, like, if I have size, like in this GFAI, it's a big level here for GFI. I mean, if you can get through this, I really believe it's going to go to 133 pretty quickly. That's the next high. Excuse me, let me get a drink of water real quick. But to be honest with you, Perfect Circle, I don't like, a lot of the setups, there just aren't there right now because we just been kind of grinding higher in the markets and we're at all-time highs. A lot of my setups work better when you have a nice little pullback in the market. I mean, you'll still get some setups, but a lot of them will fail. Like Yeti. I talked about Yeti. I did well. I mean, that was a good setup yesterday, but this kind of action you get, just total, just ugly. So really looking for maybe a potential pullback. Now, I don't know if we're gonna get one. The Qs are actually trying to go to highs here. So Here's one that I finally got out of my last bit today was Donkey Kong. Now, Donkey Kong was on the list. I'm sure right in here, DKNG. If I have my sheet somewhere, I could pull it up. So this is just a beautiful, trader. This is one where I did position trade, and I mean traded around the core position. I think I added some more back here on this one, but anyway, I don't like those when they break out and fail like that. I got out this morning. I think when it broke it right around this area, went to lows. I'll look to get back in, but just it just had a nice run on that one. But not yeah, not looking for a whole lot right now. Now something like this is something interesting to me off the 20-day. Pulled back to the breakout area. See, that's tempting. Just to buy a little bit. Not don't go, big in it, but buy one quarter of a size. And plus you got the psychological 10 level. There's a lot of things I like about a pattern like this. And if it was a Monday or Tuesday, I'd probably do that. I just want to be light going into the weekend for some reason. But I will set alert maybe for a reversal on gets back above that 10. It means it kind of held that level. And this is what I'm talking about, guys. You can see it just kind of married up right there. Big short interest too. Silver trying to go to highs. No, no, don't have the money machine simulator now. I do see right as I was in this broadcast that I do have another dev build, and I'm going to be curious to see. I don't know for sure if the money machine is going to be available to us yet. I think we're still waiting maybe a week for the traders here to get access to it and start playing around with it. Yeah, I I'm not the type to buy, at these levels. Obviously, in Bitcoin, it's at all-time highs, and just had a couple of huge days moves. It could go higher. Uh, yeah, I can't. I obviously can't buy into it at these levels. There's definitely a lot of euphoria involved. Um, that's just something. Yeah, I never got it. I never got really got into. But I think you're getting you know, I guess everything's getting a little euphoric here, and you got markets at all-time highs. You got commodity, you got silver, trying to go to all-time highs, or already is already at all-time highs, I believe. So it's not just Bitcoin. Probably going to be some huge deleveraging soon. Well, I tried IONQ this morning off the 10 period. That's another one I tried. Had to get out quickly. You just can't trust these things. Smart and Oklo kind of had a pop this morning. This is the kind of action you're getting. I just cannot trust them. I guess maybe if they get back above that 20 period, maybe they could have some in that Oklo. This one I thought had a really nice chart coming into the day, but it failed. I'm glad I didn't chase that morning wick. Head fake. They just need to come. Yeah, they just need to come down more. It's like I didn't even trust this QBTS because I was looking for the gap fill. I think it still may get it. Who knows? But you're just not having the kind of runs that used to get in those things. Stick one at 26 because that would be the level. PLTR, I see it's green. It just went green.
Yes.
BBAI, I think we probably fill that gap there, and that might be a nice little spot for it. Right above that 6, I'll put an alert. Hitting this 20-day maybe. Tesla's creeping higher. Is that 25? Is that 24? That is breaking out of that number. And two, so everything's at 24. So let's see if this thing can have a move. And don't penny whip me. Yeah, every time the market seems to get like it's going to make a little move, you just get these slap downs. You got something, you're trying to get your head above water and you got somebody with an oar. It just keeps knocking you back under. Take a look at the big boys real quick. See, Google's holding up well. Amazon, Nvidia just keeps going higher. AMD's been kind of on a move lately. Microsoft just keeps grinding higher. Just buy that on any weakness, I guess. LX, I sure will. That's getting a little pop there. It was a China play. I don't know if that's on my list. What they do? It's kind of financial company, big revenue. Yeah, these things I always get uh, confused with a lot of these financial China companies. But yeah, you're trying to hold a bottom. I mean, that's encouraging if you're looking at this thing and just try to take out. It could be a flush out there. So basically, you had a range here that it just broke down, and then now it's popping up. Other than that, there's not a whole lot to talk about. You're basically below all of its key moving averages. Looks like it might want to, have the date with the 200 down here. If it can't hold this move that we're seeing right now, you're probably going to come down to this 200-day moving average. On the longer term picture, you definitely have this is definitely a pivot level when you got one right here as well. But you're kind of got a pivot level right here where it's trying to hold. But other than that, you can just see it's been in a range for well over a month here, just kind of going back and forth, back and forth. So I really don't think you're going to get any strong footing until you get back above this 10-period moving average. I'm sorry, this 50-period moving average, and take out these highs. Other than that, you're probably just going to be you know channeling stocks.com. My favorite, favorite one is FINV when it comes to had another move today. I think this is a financial information company. Yeah, it's a consumer finance platform in China. That one is looking to go to all-time highs. Yeah, yeah, it's definitely trying to base. I mean, you got that for it, and that's encouraging that it tried to break that base, and it's popping right now. Not a whole lot of volume, but not bad. Almost two relative volume. I mean, I would like to at least see it get back above the 10 and the 20, and then maybe you can build on something and eventually push through that 50. But right now, it's kind of in no man's land. It really is. May take some time. You're welcome. Just not a whole lot happening. Teladoc I was in and got out actually yesterday. I was one of my good exits there. I was just thinking when it popped through, I said, "Man, this is going to be a head fake here." And luckily, I did. I got out once it broke 9. Now, I will look to get back in this at some point because I think it's another one that's forming, potential bottoming pattern. You see the volume coming in here in the last couple of weeks. So it could come back down to this 8 level. Catch the 20 period moving average. Other than that, it's just kind of no man's land. Well, UMAC is having a really good move. I really thought these things would kind of just gap and slop around sideways. I think what is it? RCAT probably did. Yeah, that's what I expected kind of all of them to do. Doesn't surprise me that UMAC is the one that had continued follow through strength because I pulled up RCAT and I'm not seeing any revenues. And I pulled up UMAC and I at least see something. Always hesitant about a stock when I pull up. I don't see any revenues over there. It doesn't mean it can't. A lot of it could be on the con. Most of it is with these companies, these spec companies, and that's old data too. That could be maybe their last report. Can't stop Robinhood though. Wonder what happened to that trade. So earlier this morning, when I thought I bought Baidu, I went back and looked at my portfolio, and I'm like, wait a minute, I could have sworn I bought that. So it was right around the same price range. So I went and I just bought it, bought it back. And I just looked at my portfolio, and actually, what I did is I bought more Alibaba. So hopefully it goes higher. I got more Alibaba than I want, but actually, it's actually worked out for me because it's holding up a lot better than the Baidu trade did. And when you get old, man, you start making mistakes like that. Got to watch what you're doing. Okay, Newmont. No, my bad. I thought it was closer to highs. I bet the gold bugs are like, man, what's going on with silver running and our gold can't go anywhere. Wow, what a move. Let's start looking for some of these sympathy plays. I'm gonna dig into that. Yeah, that's I mentioned that earlier, David. You probably weren't in here yet, but I mentioned that his silver's playing catch up on the longer term chart. You can see it. It's been underperforming gold, so it's just playing catch up, which is probably the reason why GDX is not going, even though there are a lot of silver miners in there. I wouldn't be surprised though to see gold finally get kicking in because you got Bitcoin at all time highs now, silver at all time highs. I can see it spill over into gold. Let's put that down there a little bit closer so I can catch it if it wants to go. Yes, Qs are actually not far off highs. We'll finally get a little pop there. It's Intel. Well, it's Bitcoin, silver. Look at what's at the top. What's kind of holding this market up? You got silver and oil and Bitcoin, energy. SMHs are up barely. UNG. So be careful what you're trying to play out there with these market moves. If you see a move and you don't see any of your stuff going, that's probably you're probably not in any Bitcoin stocks. Or and I fully anticipate to get stopped out of biddy here in the next 10 minutes. It's worth a shot. You never know. All right, got a couple more minutes as we get close to the top of the hour, and cues are not far from highs. Mainly the big boys. You got your the old school Amazon, Nvidia, Google, Microsoft, even Tesla's getting in the mix. And there goes the AMD alert. You can't. You just cannot hold this market down. You can try. Well, at least my today blotter went back green. Not sure how long it'll stay there. You too, Brian. No, there's not really. There's definitely. You could Google it or Chat GPT it. There's definitely market sentiment indicators. There's nothing that really what we have on our software. But there's some free stuff out there that you can dig up that will give you that information there, Jerry. All right, guys, that's it. I'm going to call it a day, and well, not call it a day, but call it the end of the webinar. One more CMPS bouncing back up. All right, let's take a look. Yeah, it's definitely made a nice recovery from that big red bar. And once again, you got another one that's kind of in no man's land. It's right in the middle of this range. You got the 50 period moving average. It is, back above its 10 and 20, but it's really what you call no man's land. It's right in the middle of a range. And not only that, it's stalling out right at a critical, pivot level here. So you got a lot of congestion, through this area. So you too, Jervain. Take care, buddy. Uh, so yeah, if you're in it, I would not want it to fall back, because it's had a nice move, from 230 all the way to 370. I'd like to at least hold it back. This 10 period moving average, if it starts to fall, is going to be coming up. Maybe keep that as your bogey there. Maybe if it breaks that, you get out. There you go. David says if you got E-Trade, it gives market sentiment. Hey, Net Trade, how are you, man? You do the same, buddy. All right, guys, have a good one. Keep it tight, and I will talk to you next week. Bye bye. Have a great weekend.